ऐसे होगा एंड बंद कर ऐसे हरा है. So now we will take one by one all the parts of the lateral ventricle. So first of all we will take the anterior horn. So anterior horn lies in the frontal lobe and it is the smallest part of the lateral ventricle. In order to see the boundaries of the anterior horn, we have to cut the coronal section at the level of the just behind the genu of the corpus callosum. So when we cut the coronal section, this section can be drawn like this. The peripheral part is the cerebral cortex, the grey matter of the cerebrum in cut section. From here to this point, then comes the corpus callosum to the midline, just above the, so forming the roof of the. So here we cut the trunk or the body of the corpus callosum in cut section, and just below the body of the corpus callosum, we know here that is the septum pellucidum. The septum pellucidum, right and left side, they are very, very close in the proximity, and there is a slit-like space in between them, and internally it is lined by the ependyma. So the roof of the corpus, trunk of the corpus callosum on the roof of the anterior horn. The medial wall is formed by the septum pellucidum, and this is the floor. In the floor lies the horizontal part of the corpus callosum, horizontal part. That is called the rostrum of the corpus callosum. Medially the rostrum forming the floor, and as we know, inferiorly the septum pellucidum is attached to the rostrum here, and the same ependyma is lining here below. And in this coronal section, lateral to the rostrum, there lies the head of the caudate nucleus. So this is formed, the lateral wall is formed by the caudate nucleus. So this is the caudate nucleus. And the head of the caudate nucleus forms the floor of the corpus, floor of the anterior horn, and lateral to it horn and the posterior horn. Now we will switch on to the central part of the lateral ventricle. So this is the central part of the lateral ventricle. So in this we have to cut the cerebrum in the center. So when we cut here, which we have already discussed with the choroid plexus, then this is the central part of the lateral ventricle. It means I am standing here inside the central part. So my above is the roof, my feet they are touching the floor, and anteriorly I see here and posteriorly I see here. So this is how we describe the boundaries of the central part. So if I see, I am standing here. If I see above, what I find here? So this is the coronal section we have done already in the central part. So we have to make the same diagram when we describe the central part of the lateral ventricle. So this is the coronal section. At the middle of the cerebrum. So here from this point to this point is this. Then this white one, the corpus callosum is cut from this point to this point. This is the from this point to this point. So this is the equivalent to this. Then yellow one is the fornix. The body of the fornix. Then we form the body of the fornix, yellow one. Then below the body of fornix there is a choroid fissure and the tila choroid and the choroid fissure. So this is the choroid fissure and here we see the choroid plexus. Same are there. So we are making this diagram according to this. Then, so this is the structure, forming the roof of the central part. That is the body of the corpus callosum, body of the fornix, and the choroid plexus with the tila choroidea. They are in the roof. So tila choroidea is below. So that lies in the floor. And lateral wall, the lateral bulge in the central part is formed by the body of the lentiform nucleus. So this is the caudal nucleus forms the lateral boundary of the lateral wall of the central part. Then my feet, they are touching the superior or the dorsal surface of the thalamus. Plus, there lies the thalamocyte vein, and there also lies the choroid plexus. So choroid plexus, thalamocyte vein, and laterally the caudal nucleus and the dorsal surface of the thalamus form the floor of the. This is the thalamus. So this is the floor. So this is the floor of the. This is the roof. The lateral wall. There is the caudal nucleus. And medially there is the choroid fissure which contains choroid plexus. And in the floor comes the thalamus. And lateral to this, there comes the superolateral to the thalamus is the caudal nucleus. So here this is the body of the caudal nucleus is lying laterally. And medially here lies the choroid plexus and above it there lies the thalamocyte vein. Thalamocyte vein brings the inferior blood from the thalamus and the corpus stridum. And they form a vein that is called the thalamocyte vein. So it lies in the floor. So this is the floor of the central part. So what are the structures in the floor of the central part? From medial to lateral, number one is this dorsal surface of the thalamus. This is the dorsal surface of the thalamus. Medially and laterally by the caudal nucleus. And on the floor lies the choroid plexus and the thalamocyte vein. So that is it. And medially, the central part is continuous with the anterior horn, and it is also continuous with the posterior horn, plus also continuous with the inferior horn. So this area is the trigone area, which communicates the central part with the posterior horn and the inferior horn. So this is how we describe the boundaries of the central part of the lateral ventricle. Then last comes the inferior horn. Now the inferior horn also comes on the same central line. So when we cut the same section for the central part, the same cotton section also cut the inferior horn which lies in the temporal lobe. So this is the parahippocampal lobe, this is the hippocampus, this is the amygdala nucleus, and this is the uncus. So all they are in the central part. So in the inferior horn, what we find here? So this is the inferior horn lies in the temporal lobe, number one. Then, now I am standing in the, for example, in the inferior horn, I am standing somewhere here. My head is seeing above. So that is the roof. My feet, they are below. So that is the floor. This is the anterior part, and this is the posterior part where I can go into the central part, and from the posterior part of the inferior horn I can go into the inferior horn. So both are intercommunicating. Now what happens? If we want to see if we cut the caudal section here, see what is there. So what is forming the roof of the inferior horn? Number one, this line. This pink line denotes the inferior surface of the thalamus or the ventral surface. And below the ventral surface of the thalamus, what is this yellow color? This is the tail of the caudate nucleus. So here we can make the tail of the caudate nucleus here, because caudate nucleus lies superior-lateral to the thalamus. So the tail is laterally placed. Then with the tail of the caudate nucleus, there lies this red color bunch of the capillaries. What is this? This is the choroid plexus. So here lies the choroid plexus. Below it, along with the tail of the caudate nucleus. So again, this is the choroid fissure through which this plexus has came from the medial side. So this is the how you can make the, that is the double fold of the pyometer, forming the bunch of capillaries, and then the same. So this is the choroid plexus, the caudate nucleus, the tail. So that is the roof of the inferior horn is made by the three structures: the ventral surface of the thalamus, this one, then the tail of the caudate nucleus, and third is the tila choroid. So in the central view, this is how we see 1, 2 and 3. Now, where my feet they are touching. So I am standing inside the inferior horn and describing the boundaries. So what touches my feet? So all structures present here, they are the floor. So from medial to lateral, they are parahippocampal lobe, the medialmost, then dentate gyrus, then hippocampus, and then this yellow is the fimbria of the fornix. So this is how we can make here. This is the boundary of the cerebral cortex in cut section. So below here, this is the hippocampus, medially placed, and then lateral to this parahippocampal lobe, there lies the dentate gyrus. So this is the dentate gyrus we can. And with the dentate gyrus, my floor is also touching the hippocampus. So this is how I can make the hippocampus. And from the hippocampus, what is coming out? From the parahippocampal, from the dentate gyrus, and from the hippocampus. So superior to all of them, what is coming is the alveus. And this alveus then forms the, what is called the fimbria of the fornix. So this is the fimbria of the fornix. So this is the alveus, the white matter coming out from the parahippocampal, dentate gyrus and hippocampus. So this forms the fimbria of the fornix. So this is how we describe the inferior horn which lies in the temporal lobe. And if I see anteriorly, what I see here amygdaloid nucleus and uncus. Two things are anterior and posterior is continuous with this. So this is how we describe the all four parts of the lateral ventricle with the sagittal view and coronal segment. So you have seen that this diagram is very helpful to understand all the four parts of the lateral ventricle. That's all.